Different things that I wish I knew before moving into my first apartment and just moving out. Tour apartments in real life, and that's how you're gonna know if you like a place. It's really important to do your research of where you're going to be living, cutting back on spending on little things that I just did not need. Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. Today's topic I'm so excited to chat about because it's officially been 2 years since I moved from Minnesota to Florida, and it's been the best decision that I've ever made in my life. And initially moving here, was I freaked out? Of course, it was probably one of the biggest decisions, if not the biggest decision that I've ever made in my life, and definitely a huge transition. It wasn't always easy. There were definitely times that I second guessed what the heck I was doing with my life, and I'm sure we all do, and we get in those moods all the time. I still to this day get in those moods of like, what the heck am I doing with my life? Like, why did I just up and leave it to Florida one day? But everything has a reason behind it, and also leaving your hometown can be very scary, but also one of the most rewarding and great periods of growth for you. And I think everyone, if you have the opportunity and you're fortunate enough, should leave your hometown and go try living somewhere new, maybe with a roommate or on your own. Like, the amount of growth that you experience is incredible, and that alone is just something to motivate you enough to move and go somewhere new. So today I just wanted to have a chat about different things that I wish I knew before moving into my first apartment and just moving out, all the expenses, how I saved, and different things that I didn't really anticipate to happen that did, and like ways that I felt ready to move out and all the emotions with it and everything. But I did want to say a huge thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video, because I'll be chatting about them throughout the video while we talk finances, because truly without using Rocket Money, I don't think this move would have been possible for me. It has really helped me budget and just save my money and really manage my finances properly. So I'll talk more about it in depth when we get to that section of the video. But I just want to kick it off by chatting about all things that went into the emotions with moving, like why I chose to move, how I knew I was ready to move out, and all of that. To kick things off, I'll give you guys a backstory as to what inspired me to move to Florida and how I knew that I was personally ready to make the big move. So I graduated from the University of Minnesota in 2021. At that point, I had lived in Minnesota all of my life, and after graduating, I knew that I wanted something, whether that was a 9-to-5 job and like living that corporate lifestyle or a move somewhere different. I was ready for change. Like, I just wanted something fresh and new in my life, because I just felt like I had outgrown Minnesota. When you feel as though there's no more you can give to make yourself excel or push yourself a little harder, that's always a sign. And for me, I just felt that there was no more growth to be done in Minnesota for myself. So I was like, I'm gonna up and move. And at that point, I didn't really know where I wanted to move. I had an idea that I wanted to move somewhere warm and somewhere that I could enjoy the beach and be at the water and have palm trees. So I had 3 different places in mind, and I had a pros and cons list for each of those places. I think it's really important, if you have the opportunity, to tour apartments in real life and go make a little staycation for yourself and make the touring apartments a part of that staycation, and just channel living there and see how you feel, because that's how you're gonna know if you like a place. It's so scary to sign a lease online or just like via FaceTime if you had never even been to that city. So you can take everyone's advice and all the thoughts considered and everything, but you never truly know what it feels like until you are physically there. And I had like a strong why as to why I wanted to move to Florida, which I think is huge. You need to have a strong why as to why you're moving to that new city, because if you don't, it's gonna be so hard to make that new place feel like home. If you are just moving somewhere because it looks very fun and people you see on social media are living there and it just looks like the new hot spot, it's not gonna feel like home to you, and you're gonna absolutely hate it. So think of what you want in a new home and a new place for you, and find somewhere in like a new city that could really suit those non-negotiables that you have. When I first moved to Florida, my rose-colored glasses were on. I was just so excited to be by the beach, be in sunshine, that I did little to no research of where I was moving to. So originally when I moved to Florida, I was in Fort Lauderdale for the first year, and after my lease was up, I was out of there. I was like, this was not my scene. I was there for a couple of days, obviously, while I was touring apartments, but that alone was not enough for me to get the full experience of what living there would be like. There was just way too much of a party scene that I wasn't into, and it was so hard to meet people. It's really important to do your research of where you're going to be living and what that city is like. Really figure out the lifestyle that you're trying to live, and if that new city can make that happen, because Fort Lauderdale / Miami is just like not personally my lifestyle. So I really couldn't create like a comfortable routine in life for myself there. And then moving to Tampa, it is just much more my speed. Like, the people here, a lot of them are from the Midwest. It has more of that Southern hospitality. It feels more like the Midwest and just like a very comforting, cozy, welcoming environment. And that was not South Florida for me. A lot of people in South Florida are from New York and Boston type of people. So they have more of that, like, I don't want to say harsh and cold, but more of that intense personality, and I wasn't used to that being from the Midwest. So definitely a little bit of culture shock there. So be mindful of what the new place you're going to is going to be like, and research what the culture and the vibe is, because that can really make or break your living experience. So once my lease was up in Fort Lauderdale, I was out of there and headed over to Tampa. I actually have a whole vlog of touring apartments in Tampa, also touring apartments in Fort Lauderdale, so I can link both of them down below for you guys if you are interested in. But like I said, definitely do your research. Once you have your new city picked out that you want to move to, start setting up apartment tours, and don't overwhelm yourself with the apartment tours. I like to say somewhere between 3 and 8. You don't want to have too many options to where you're overwhelmed, but you don't want to be stuck with just a couple of different options. So it's important to have a budget set, all of your non-negotiables. I have like a whole list on like Google Docs that I can link down below for you guys that help me organize all of my apartment tours, so that I knew once I finish all the apartments, like looking and reflecting on where I wanted to live, like what all of them offered, what I liked and didn't like about each unit, because it definitely gets to be overwhelming, and in your head everything starts to mesh together. So when it came to finances, amenities, parking fees, different like square footage, obviously all of that stuff that went into it, I had it super well organized so that I could make a decision that I was very comfortable and confident about. Again, I go into depth about that in my apartment hunting vlogs. But those are just things to be mindful and think about while you're doing your apartment search. Now that you have found your apartment and signed the lease, move-in day rolls around. This is probably the most expensive day, and this is what I say you should really budget for, because you are going to be paying a security deposit, and this could be anything between $250 to like $500 or $700. And this security deposit is something that you usually do get back at the end of your lease term, but if there were something to go wrong in your apartment that you break or anything like that, they use that money to fix the damage. So if there was something to go wrong, you won't get that back at the end of your lease term, but you'll be paying that fee. You also have to pay renter's insurance. That could be around like $150 to $250. Again, it really depends what state you live in. So that's why I emphasize doing your research so that you are ready for expenses like this. You have your utility bill and electricity bill that you have to pay every single month. You don't have to pay that on your day of move-in. That's just like a monthly expense that will come out every single time, along with cable and internet. And then lastly, are you going to pay for movers, or if you're going to be getting a U-Haul, how much is that all going to cost, etc. I definitely recommend movers. I didn't have movers when I was moving from Minnesota to Fort Lauderdale. It was just my dad and I got a U-Haul, paid for that, and then paid for like all of the gas and everything. So take in mind all of that, and then movers. I got movers moving from Fort Lauderdale to Tampa. I did not have to touch a damn thing, and that was such a luxury. Like, I don't think I'll ever go back to not having movers, because they wrapped everything up for me. They truly did it all. So if you are going to splurge, I would recommend splurging on movers, because it was truly the best thing and made my moving experience so seamless. And the way that I really recommend saving up for this big move and making sure that you are financially ready to move, because I wanted to be so financially confident that I didn't have to stress about paying my rent every single month. So I made sure that I had rent saved up for the entire year. So say if everything in my life were to hit the fan, if ish were to hit the fan, that I could cover my rent for the next year of my life living here. And for some people, maybe that seems very overwhelming. Try to save up rent for the next 3 months. And I did this by using Rocket Money. Like I said, truly Rocket Money has helped me manage my finances so well, really track my spending, and just create a budget for myself that I can live freely, but also live within my means and not overspend my money. Every single month I had a certain amount of money from my paycheck go right to my smart savings account. So I had a smart savings account set up right within the app, so that that certain amount of money was always going right to that savings account. So then that was building over time to help me for my move. And I cannot stress enough how important that is, and how important it is to really track your finances and your spending. I was cutting back on spending on little things that I just did not need, and was really watching my online shopping, going out and buying coffees that I didn't need, random silly purchases that I would like see on TikTok and just instantly go buy. online, like it all adds up and you do not realize it. I was tracking how much I was spending out to eat, and I never use delivery apps, but if you are somebody that uses food delivery apps, maybe cut back on using that. What's really cool with Rocket Money too is that you can manage your subscriptions, so you can safely and securely cancel any subscriptions online. So if you have like TV subscriptions that you use or like in-app purchases with subscriptions that you use, you can see everything that you're subscribed to within the app and just safely and securely cancel them. So that is a great feature. I know my dad loves that feature. It is truly such a great app, and I'll leave it linked down below so you guys can get started with it today, or you can head over to rocketmoney.com/Lauren and again, just take care and manage your finances today. It is truly so beneficial and incredibly helpful. Again, if you are looking to make a big move or purchase a car or a home one day, or you're saving for like a big vacation in the future, whatever it is, I definitely recommend using Rocket Money to track your finances because it will be such an incredibly helpful tool. Finally, you're moved into your new apartment. This feeling is like a weight lifted off your shoulders. I swear, every day up until move-in day, and then also move-in day itself is just so chaotic and so overwhelming. So once you're in your new place, it's such a rewarding feeling, and now is the time to organize and start to furnish and decorate your place to really make it feel like home. And this does not have to be a very expensive process. I know it can be overwhelming to do, but I honestly took like a month to 2 months to fully like furnish and make this apartment feel like home to me. I got a lot of my pieces off of Amazon, Home Goods. I have a whole Amazon storefront of all of my apartment finds down below for you guys. But if you like to do little DIY projects, Facebook Marketplace has great like used furniture that you can purchase. Some of it is even like brand new. I browsed Facebook Marketplace for a few things as well, and they have some solid finds. So definitely utilize Facebook Marketplace if you're looking for quality, affordable furniture. Also thrift shops if you want to like refurbish some things. I personally splurged on only like 3 things in my apartment. I wanted it to be my couch, my bed, and my mattress. So think of a couple things. If there are things that you do want to splurge on in your apartment, what are those things going to be, and is it practical to splurge on? I've had this couch for 3 years now, and it is so good and it's held up very nicely. Same with my bed frame and my mattress as well. So it does not have to be this whole expensive extravaganza to decorate your home or your apartment. Just whatever is going to make it feel very homey and cozy to you. So keep things from your old home and bring them to your new place if they were things that you really liked, because that's going to make it again feel very cozy and homey to you and work well for you and your style. So that pretty much covers all of the tips and advice I have for moving out. If you have any other tips and advice that you think would be helpful to share, definitely leave them in the comments down below. We can all chat with each other and just have like a very open discussion about moving out and things maybe you wish you knew that would be very beneficial and helpful to anyone else to hear. But I could definitely do a video in the future about moving to a new city and making new friends, making a new routine and like community for yourself, if that's something that y'all would be interested in. But thank you so much for listening to today's video. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.